You may have heard of a few famous psychologists, including Sigmund Freud and Erik Erikson, people who've tried to develop formulas to understand the human psyche. One such person was Austrian doctor and psychotherapist Alfred Adler, who believed internal and external factors are equally important in defining a person's psychology. Adler believed that infants are born with feelings of inferiority and inadequacy, which they strive to overcome as they build skills and strengths with the help and nurturing of their parents. When these needs aren't met or are overly corrected for, personality complexes are developed. According to Adler, overcompensation results when someone feels constricted and inferior to those around them. As a result, they continue to push themselves to resolve these feelings, sometimes going to extremes. William Shakespeare's Macbeth follows a Scottish nobleman's bloody ascension to power after 3 witches tell him he'll one day become king. Being in the military, Macbeth's life was heavily dictated. However, he distinguished himself by rising through the ranks. By rising against power and pursuing personal advancements, he pushed the bounds of his comfort to an irreversible extent through his choice to kill King Duncan. And it's important to note he would never have been in position for the throne at all had he not excelled at his post and saved the king's son. However, overcompensation stems from inferiority and can become a problem which compounds itself as someone is unable to overcome their low self-esteem. When low self-esteem and feelings of inadequacy dominate someone's life, they are said to have developed an inferiority complex. In the example of Macbeth, Macbeth had to live under the shadow of other officers and the king. He overcompensated for that by murdering the king, but Macbeth lacked the self-esteem will disagree with his wife and stand up for Duncan. Instead, he bowed to her will and went through with the murder of a beloved leader and his friend. Similarly, the superiority complex is developed when someone feels the need to constantly prove themselves better than others. This can relate to overcompensation if someone continues to push themselves to a point of power that they can then exert on those around them. Again, an underlying root of inferiority can lead to the superiority complex. Macbeth's goal in murdering Duncan was to rise to a place of higher social status and gain superiority over others. The desire to rule shows the desire to be superior. Once Macbeth rose to power, he was dismissive of all those around him. He ignored his wife's counsel against murdering his old friend Banquo and rarely speaks more than one line to servants. He continues to murder those that pose any level of threat to him because he wants to hold on to power and ensure that the heir to his throne is one of his children and no one else. So, what do you think? Can you apply Adler's theories to other stories, or even your own life?